How's it going, guys? It's Jayson here, and today's video is going to be on McFarlane's Movie Maniacs Series 1, which was released in 1998. I've got 12 figures and variants in total, which is a complete set. There's 5 of the standard bloody figures. Then there was 4 non-bloody clean variants, which I'll take you through, and then 3 ultra bloody variants, which I'll also go through. I'll also show you some of these figures, how they compare to the newer figures today. And so let's get started. So here's the 5 figures that were released in Movie Maniacs Series 1 in 1998. They consist of Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. These are all the bloody variants. Species 2 had Eve. And this is the rare nipple variant, where she's got an open mouth and nipples. The other variant that was released in Series 1 is the clean variant that didn't have nipples. And Patrick from Series 2. These figures were pretty much the first horror action figures released by any company. Which were really super detailed and yeah, just look amazing. So these are the bloody variants. You can tell they're bloody by some of their, like Freddy's claws have blood on them, his blades, and Jayson from Friday the 13th. You can tell there's blood on his shirt, as well as blood splatter on his harpoon, machete, and also axe. And he also has blood on his shoes and on a bit on his pants as well. So that's the same as Leatherface's figure. He's got blood on his apron and his chainsaw, as well as the bucket that you can put the decapitated limb and head in, as well as his mallet. So these figures, although they were super detailed and amazing for their time, they were very limited in articulation. These figures just pretty much rotate at the shoulder, the wrist, and Freddy doesn't even have, and rotate at the waist, but doesn't have articulation below the waist. Similar with the other figures, they might have leg rotation, but no ball joints. Very limited, so they're just pretty much detailed plastic statues, but still, for their time in 1998, they were amazing, and really happy with these figures. Here I'll just take you through quickly the box design for the Movie Maniac Series 1. So you have the logo, as well as the figures, an image of the face of the figure, Movie Maniac Series 1, as well as the blister. And all the figures came with a movie poster with a frame, which is pretty much like skulls and bone piecing, which is cool. Here's the back of the box with all 5 figures from Series 1. And also some of the other figures that were released around the same time, including Spawn and Kiss. So pretty standard card and blister packaging for these figures. And they kept them up until Series 4 of the Movie Maniacs, this card and blister system, and then they moved to the clamshell in Series 5. So here are the 4 non-bloody variants for this series. It's Leatherface, Eve, Freddy, and Jayson, and I'll take you through them one by one and show you the differences between them and the... From just looking at the different variants, I noticed actually in the video I just showed of all the bloody variants, I actually showed the non-bloody variant from Freddy, who had blood splatter on his claws, or his blades. So there's blood there, but he doesn't have any blood looking at him on his pants or his Christmas sweater. So looking at the other variant that I have is actually, which is a bit odd, this is actually the bloody variant because you can see the blood around his pants and shoes, but he's actually missing blood on his claws, which made me, or his blades, which made me think that this was the non-bloody variant, but it's actually quite unusual. He's also got blood splatter, although it's difficult to see on his chest, and some yellow underneath his arm, which I don't know why that is. It's a bit unusual. But yeah, so this is the bloody variant, and this is the non-bloody variant, and now I'll show you the other non-bloody variants from this series. So on the left-hand side, we have the bloody version of Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and on the right-hand side is the clean, non-bloody variant. You can tell the difference mainly in that the non-bloody variant has no blood on the figure whatsoever. So the apron has blood splatter on the bloody version. There's also blood up on his collar and also around his forearms and hands. It's quite a lot of blood splatter, and this figure does not have any. It's absolutely clean. This is probably my favorite non-bloody variant because all the other figures from the non-bloody variant, the packaging's pretty much identical. Leatherface looks like the most different out of all the variants. So even the chainsaw has all blood splatter over it, and there's no blood on the clean version. The tin bucket has all blood dripping out on the bloody variant, and the non-bloody variant has no blood at all. It's absolutely clean, spotless. He's cleaned it up. So the interesting thing, when I got the non-bloody variant, I was like, oh, it didn't even come with the severed head and hand. So I was like, what the hell's going on? Got ripped off or something. But what I found pretty cool was they're actually packaged behind the movie poster. So if you can just see in there, there's the hand and the head, I believe, should be in there. Yeah, that's around the other side. See, you can see the head in there. Not well, but there's no blood on the head either. So there's the head and hand. So it's actually packaged behind the movie poster, which is pretty cool. So yeah, so that's the non-bloody and bloody Leatherface variant. Here we have Jayson Voorhees, the bloody variant on the left and the non-bloody on the right. Again, the boxes are identical, both card and blister. And the only difference is the blood splatter on the figure itself. Actually, also, when you look at the machete on the bloody variant, there's more blood splatter than the non-bloody variant on the right, as well as the blood around his shirt and pants around the ankles and his shoes. There's a lot more blood. There's no blood on this figure, I believe, if it will focus. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely clean. So they're the differences between the non-bloody and bloody variant for Jayson Voorhees. Here's Eve from Species 2. The bloody variant is on the left and the non-bloody on the right. It's actually not bloody and non-bloody variants. I just use that to describe them, as the other figures, Leatherface, Jayson, and Freddy, all had bloody and non-bloody variants, but there's no blood splatter on this figure. The only difference is that the one figure, was molded with nipples and had the open mouth, and the clean variant was molded without nipples and came with the closed mouth variant, even though they both had the alternate heads that you could just change. The ones that were on the figure were different. Apart from that, the figure's absolutely identical. as well as the movie poster in the background, and Patrick from Species 2 did not get a variant. McFarlane also released 3 Ultra Bloody variants, and I believe these might be the most rare variants from the series. You could tell the Ultra Bloody figures as they had blood splatter on the actual packaging itself, as well as a sticker on the front of the movie poster, which is a really cool touch. These are probably my favorite variants from the series, and they're just absolutely covered in blood, more so than the bloody variants, which I'll take you through now. So here's Freddy. The Ultra Bloody variant is on the left, and the bloody variant is on the right. It's a bit difficult to tell because there's so much blood splatter on the packaging, but the Ultra Bloody has the movie replica poster. I believe the Ultra Bloody variants came out towards the end of Series 1, because the reason why I believe this is because the sticker that they put on the Ultra Bloody variants is what they started using for Series 2 figures and so on. They put the stickers on the front of those figures from Series 2 onwards, so it makes me think that the Ultra Bloody variants came out towards the end of the release. But yeah, there's a bit more blood on the figure as well, so you can see there on his blades, his hand, whereas the bloody variant doesn't have blood on his hand, and it's not as noticeable, but there is more blood on the figure, this bloody variant. The good thing about these, because with the bloody variants, all the blood's hand painted, so it actually varies between figure to figure, but there is a bit more blood on the Ultra Bloody variant on the actual figure, but it's a bit more noticeable between the Leatherface and Jayson figures, which I'll show you next. Here's Leatherface, the Ultra Bloody variant on the left and the bloody variant on the right. And this is probably the figure that you most notice the difference in between the bloody and Ultra Bloody and bloody variants, mainly in you got the blood splatter on the packaging, but if you look at the chainsaw, that is just drenched in blood. It's pretty much solid red for the Ultra Bloody variant, where there's still a bit of blood on it, but the tin, head, and arm have a bit more blood on them. It's probably most noticeable. See around the collar, that's just solid, drenched in blood, and I think it's a bit more noticeable. Even the apron has more blood on it. Around the sleeves of his shirt on the Ultra Bloody variant, there's just a bit more blood. So it just looks absolutely brutal, which I'm really happy with. And finally, we have Jayson Voorhees, the Ultra Bloody variant on the left and the bloody variant on the right. There's not that much difference with this one that I have. The blood splatter seems to be fairly similar both on the figure as well as on the weapons. The main difference is just that the packaging has the blood splatter on it, which is really cool. I like that. I like that addition, as well as the sticker of the movie poster. So here I'm going to do a comparison of some of the other variants, or some of the other figures, newer figures of Freddy Krueger. In the middle is the Freddy Krueger from movie Maniacs Series 1. On the right we have Freddy Krueger from the same movie, or based off of the same movie, the original Nightmare on Elm Street. But that's from movie Maniacs Series 4, released in 2001. And here we have the NECA one, which I'll open. That was 2014, so that's a lot newer. That's 16 years newer than the original from movie Maniacs Series 1. So here I'll show you the difference between movie Maniacs Series 1 and 4. This variant of Freddy Krueger is actually, I just noticed it's the second edition. If you see there, there's a sticker saying second edition, and I've looked online. I can't really know for sure. I've heard that the second edition variant has blackwashed eyes and face, so the face is a bit more evil and dark looking. But he looks amazing. I prefer the detail on Series 4's figure over Series 1. The claws, the blades on his hand are just sculpted a lot more better. They're sharper and longer than the Series 1, where they're just more like, I don't know, they're just not that well detailed. They're not actually, they don't look like blades. They're more like nails. They're circular, whereas these blades are got edges to them. They look, his outfit also looks a lot better to the for the original movie. More accurate. And the other thing that I'm not sure about, I've also seen online, the second edition Series 4 figure might be a bloody variant, because there's actually a bit of blood splatter on the shirt, pants just above his left knee and around his shoes as well. Series 4's figure only comes with a removable signature hat, his fedora hat. So that's pretty disappointing. It didn't come with much, as well as a movie poster. And how I was talking about the ultra bloody variant before, who's just over here. That was the first variant that they added the movie poster to. This is Series 4, and they also have the movie posters sticker on the front. And also comes with the movie poster stand in the background as well. But yeah, so the Series 1 figure, the fedora is not removable. It's fixed to his head, but he does come with his little puppet. And yeah, pretty much both just as limited in articulation. Again, just twist at the shoulders, I think at the neck, as well as the wrists, and his legs are pretty much fixed like a statue. So this is where 16 years later than the Series 1 Movie Maniacs figure, this is NECA, the ultimate Freddy Krueger, and he just comes with a lot more accessories. So he has the removable fedora, he comes with an alternate head, which is just super detailed. It looks amazing. Probably the best out of all. I don't know, it's a toss-up between that and the Series 4 head. I think that looks really dark, the Series 4 head. This is probably more accurate, slightly more accurate to the movie, but I like them both. I like how you get an alternate head as well. There's another alternate head, and just a lot more accessories. The tongue phone, as well as the severed hand, and a lot more articulation. So this figure is super posable. It's got ball joints at the shoulders and the elbows, at the waist, knees are also ball jointed or hinge jointed. So yeah, very impressed. But that being said, there is 16 years difference between these two figures, so you can just see you'd expect evolution between the McFarlane figure, who started it all, pretty much the innovator of detailed horror figures, and the evolved ultimate current day, modern day action figure. Here we have a comparison between the Movie Maniacs Series 1 Leatherface and the Ultimate Leatherface, which was released by NECA. Again, I think it was 2014, so 16 years later, and similar to the Freddy Krueger variant, just a lot more articulation with the ball jointed shoulders, elbows, knees, as well as McFarlane was pretty good with accessories for this figure. Mallet, chainsaw, bucket with severed head and severed armor. I really like the severed body parts. That's a really cool feature. The ultimate Leatherface, it does look better in terms of the detail, I think, and just being more articulated. It comes with an alternate head with the as well as a lot more, well, different accessories, really, more weapons. So butcher knife, a standard knife, a different mallet. So that's a mallet, probably a bit more realistic, whereas that one's, well, that does have a similar one in the movie to that. That's probably a bit more real looking. And the butcher hook, and the chainsaw, I think, is more detailed, more realistic looking. They both look pretty good. I think, yeah, this one's a bit more better with the color and the detail. But yeah, that's just a comparison of 16 years of evolution between these action figures. Although movie Maniacs Series 1 Jayson Voorhees was based off of the Jayson Goes to Hell sequel, as you can see there from the movie poster, and also in the background, it's the Jayson Goes to Hell figure. I thought I'd compare it to NECA's most recent Jayson, Ultimate Jayson figure, which was from Friday the 13th Part 3. So a comparison between the two. Again, this is 2016, so this is 18 years after the original Movie Maniacs Series 1 figure was released. Again, the articulation is and technology, which you'd expect from 18 years between figures. So this is from Part 3, so they obviously look different in terms of their costume. But this figure just has rotation at shoulders, elbow, wrist, at the waist and at the hips, and no articulation in the knee or feet. So yeah, it's pretty limited to a statue, bar moving the hands above his head, and him swinging around the machete or harpoon or axe. So they're the three accessories that this figure comes with, as well as the movie poster stand in the background. But yeah, for comparison, here we go. So we've got his axe, machete, and, well, this one, he doesn't have a harpoon in Part 3, but he's got the gun, as well as the pitchfork, the fire poker, wrench and knife, as well as a removable mask. In the original Movie Maniacs figure, the mask is not removable, so that's a cool feature. And he's also got a battle damaged mask and removable head as well, so he comes with 2 heads and 2 masks, which I'll just show you on the back. So that's his standard head sculpt, non-damaged, and then that's the damaged mask head sculpt with the big cut in his forehead and blood dripping down, and his face is grimacing from the blood dripping down his face. So that's a cool touch. And just the amount of accessories that you get with this figure, as well as the articulation. That's the evolution of 18 years of action figure technology between NECA and McFarlane Toys. And finally, from Series 1 Movie Maniacs, we have the Freddy and Jayson box set that was a special edition for the series. And this came out the following year. So Movie Maniacs Series 1 came out in 98, and this came out in 99. This was 4 years before the Freddy vs. Jayson movie. So long before the movie Freddy vs. Jayson, McFarlane did this awesome box set that is the bloody variants of both figures, with the blood splatter on the figures, as well as the puppet, Freddy's puppet comes with, and blood splatter on the box. And what I found funny is there's a typo on the base of Jayson Voorhees' tombstone. Voorhees is spelt with V-O with only one O. It's got the two E's, but is missing an O there, which is pretty funny how they stuff that up. There it is, Jayson Voorhees. Whereas on the packaging they spelt it correctly. So that was a bit of a stuff up there. He comes with the same accessories, the machete, harpoon, and axe, which are up the top there. And Freddy comes with his puppet, which is the exact same as the Series 1 figures. So I'll just do a quick spin around of the box. Side. And the back is, so it shows Movie Maniacs Series 2, which came out in 1999, the Ozzy Osbourne figure, which I'll do a video review of. I don't have the Austin Powers series, and then some of the Spawn figures there as well. So that's the Freddy and Jayson box set from Movie Maniacs Series 1. Alright guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and let us know which are your favourite figures from the Movie Maniacs series. And stay tuned to my channel for new action figure reviews and videos. I'll speak to you soon. See ya.